Hello, fellow Redbirds. Welcome to Bird Fans Forever podcast number 67. If you've been a fan of the podcast and like our videos, a good way to support the channel is to like our videos and slam dunk the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, Bird Fans Forever, with the number 4. Also, go follow us on our Bird Fans Forever Twitter account to be notified of our latest podcast videos, and visit our website, www.birdfansforever.com, where you can find a list of our previous podcasts. I want to let our listeners know about the Shoes That Fit charity. It's a great charity we're going to be talking about during the podcast, and we want to encourage everyone to go to shoesthatfit.org and donate if you can. We're welcoming back a friend of the podcast we haven't had on the podcast in 3 years, going back to our very first episode. He was 1995 Valley Freshman of the Year, two-time Missouri Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year, and a member of 2 NCAA tournament teams and 2 NIT teams. He's also a Percy Family Hall of Fame inductee from 2009. Please welcome back to the Bird Fans Forever, Redbird for Life, Dan Muller.
Hello and welcome to Bird Fans Forever, episode 67 with Dan Muller. He's joining us again from episode 1, but today we're talking about Tory Ward's shoes, right? It's called shoesthatfit.org. I had to look at my screen, sorry about that. And we all know how dyslexic I am, so Dan, you know that, right? If I didn't get it right, so thanks, Dan, for being on.
Oh, pleasure to be back on. As you said, not the same podcast. Lots changed since the last time I was on your other podcast, but I appreciate it.
Well, let's explain that joke real quickly. We started the Bird Fans Forever, or it's called ISU Redbirds podcast. I asked the athletic director, named Kyle, and he said it was great, and I got in trouble. Steve and John warned me that it was a dumb idea. I said we were fine. Dumb idea. So, Dan, thank you for bearing with us. Also, why don't we get it out on the table again? Dan, the first episode, I text Dan, hey, we're going to record at 6 a.m. And he goes, 6 a.m., yes? And I said, yes. Dan calls me.
I'm okay. You tell me what time, I'll be there, Coach. I do what I'm told.
So, yes. So those are the running jokes inside it. So, okay. So why don't we talk about, more seriously, shoesthatfit.org. How did this, we know how it got started, so kind of talk about the journey of this.
Yeah. Well, we just had the 10-year anniversary of course, the tragic plane crash, which, as anybody who thinks about it or was there last Monday, or the 7th, at the memorial. I say there, at the memorial outside of Redbird Arena. It's amazing. It's been 10 years. And then you see the kids, and they're all grown up. Of course, I see Tory Ward, T. Ward Jr. is not a junior, but Tory's little Tory. And so I've seen him grow, but you see all the other kids of the widows, and you realize, wow, it's really been 10 years. I do want to say this before we go. What a wonderful service that Jerry Beggs and Danny Bug and everybody put on. It was awesome showing. Beautiful day, chilly but beautiful day to honor those men and their families, to honor the families who came back. And it was great to see people, even though it's not a celebration, of course, and not a happy occasion, but it's still great to see the people that were involved. So Tori's mother, Janice, who my wife and I have stayed very close with, as she talked about during that day, she was trying to figure out, she's still trying to figure out the grieving process.
Yeah.
She was trying to figure out what to do for Tory, and tried one of the many things that she's done to try to remember. She'll always remember, but have others remember Tory, his legacy, who he was. And Janice always talked about I call him T. Ward or T or Tory. So you hear that.
Keep going. You're good, man.
Always talks about Tory's love for shoes, Jordan specifically, Nikes. And he had a lot of shoes, as a lot of basketball coaches do, but T could make him look a little better than some of us. And so Janice found the foundation, Shoes That Fit. It was already organized, of course. It was active. I don't know how long they've been around. And it just worked out that, she called and said, hey, I'd like to sponsor, I think is what you do basically, sponsor a shoe drive, raise money.
Yes.
And what the organization does is it donates shoes to less fortunate. What I always worked with was children. I assume they work with mostly children, but certainly they might work with adults or
Right.
Multiple ages. But they donate shoes to less fortunate. And of course, at Illinois State, we would take our team to a local elementary school, and they still do that. The basketball program, Ryan Pete, I know still is active and does that. And Ryan was there, by the way. It was great to see him. A lot of the players were there at the memorial service. That was very much appreciated. But so yeah, Janice got it going. Shoes That Fit, Tori Ward, and it's a wonderful act of charity. And I'll tell you, John, I know there's questions to ask, but it's pretty powerful when you sit
Very
down
powerful.
and you put on a pair of shoes on a whatever it is, a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, and it was a blessing to be a part of. When I was at Illinois State, we had that day where we went to the elementary school, but it's a wonderful charity. And again, Shoes That Fit, Tori Ward, Janice Ward has done a great job with donating a lot of shoes to a lot of kids that need them, and also doing something special for Tori.
So that program started, right? And you guys brought the teams there. It's not just Bloomington Normal, though, right? It's also in Birmingham too, the program.
Yeah, I think Janice sponsors Birmingham, of course, is where Tori was from. Janice Ward still lives in Birmingham. She works at UAB and has been a part of that university for a long time. And so I'm almost positive they have a day where they go to same thing schools and donate. Of course, I was involved with the one in Bloomington Normal, but that's pretty cool that they've reached out and branched out to also involve Tulsa.
Absolutely. The Pembertons donated, and I saw you at the thing. I walked up, gave you a hug, and then I saw Larry Lyons, and so yeah, it was an emotional day.
It sure was. Very emotional
Sure was.
day,
Yeah.
but a good day.
Good day. Yeah, agreed. All right, so Tori Ward, right? His charity is shoesthatfit.org, right? And it will be up on the screen here, and we're doing that. So, Dan, this didn't have to be long. We wanted to kind of come in here and get something out, right? I talked to you at the day of the event, right? Because we love, as Bird fans forever, getting involved in these kind of extra charity things for Illinois State. And so please go out and donate to Shoes That Fit in honor of Tori. And so the Bird fans will be doing the same thing. And so we really appreciate that. And so this is a quick episode, right? This is episode 57. Let's make sure I don't get that wrong.
67.
67. Did I say 57? Wow.
Make sure I
better is
Wow.
yeah.
You know,
Famous last week.
let's get this all started again. Thank you for joining episode 67 with Bird Fans Forever with Dan Muller and Tori Ward with shoesthatfit.org. John, hit it.
Oh.
Do you not know your job? What is going on? We were going to impress Dan.